Hello everyone, Terry here, and what do you do if your car alarm just randomly goes off and you can't deactivate it? Let me show you. All right, friends, so today we're going to go over what to do if your car alarm just starts going off and no matter what you do, you cannot get it to stop activating. Now, this is a common issue with BMW. Particularly, I'm going to be showing you how you can deal with this with the Z3 as an example. And hopefully this will help you in the event it's like 3 a.m. and all of a sudden your car alarm just starts going off and you can't get to stop, and you don't want to be that guy who's keeping the neighbors awake. All right, so first things first, there's going to be different things that could be causing it. The car alarm system is going to be made up of multiple different sensors. All right, so some models of BMW will have a hood switch. So that if there's any movement on the hood, I don't know, I guess they were trying to prepare if someone was trying to, open up your hood and steal parts or something, that would activate the alarm. You could have a hood switch that's being defective. You could have a motion sensor on the interior that could be defective. Or it might just be always triggering because maybe you have a pet in the car. And so you go and you stop somewhere and your pet is moving around inside the car, so that could be triggering the alarm as well. There's also the tilt switch, which is another motion detector that will go off if it notices any movement with the car, kind of like going up and down. So this is something that also gets defective, and something that, I don't know, maybe you're taking your car on a ferry and the water could be a symptom of something that would trigger that tilt sensor. So maybe you just want to know how to just deactivate it while it's on a ferry. So let's go ahead and let me show you where these things are located so you can go ahead and troubleshoot what your solution might be. All right, so here is my 2001 2.5i Z3 Roadster. Now, like I said, I'm going to kind of do a generalization just to cover BMW in general. So some of these things may not necessarily concern you depending on the model of BMW you have. For example, a hood switch. And usually they'll be located somewhere along like the cowl area. All you gotta do is look for a black button that it'll be like a black little button that'll be protruding up. It'll be longer in size. So that way when the hood goes down, it presses it in, and there'll be an electrical connector going to that button. But, you'd probably find them somewhere in this area, like I said, right along the back cowl. So, so just kind of keep a lookout for that. And that hood switch gets defective over time, and you might just need to replace the electrical connector for it. Or maybe you just don't want it at all. Just unplug the electrical connector, and problem is dealt with. All right, now if you go into the interior of the car, on the passenger side, you're going to want to look for the glove box. And there's going to be, you have to completely remove your glove box, and there'll be another, there'll be an alarm module back there. That's your motion sensor as well for the interior. Go ahead and you can disable that as well. Depending on the model of car, you may have fuses in here as well. And there'll be 2 different fuses that you can pull out that will disable the alarm, or that could be going out, which is causing your alarm not to work at all. Now, I'm not going to actually remove my glove box, but for the Z3 example, you'll have a screw up here, one down here, one down here. You'll have, I believe you have to get this one over here because it's holding a bracket that's holding it in on the inside. And then you'll have to actually open it up. Excuse all the stuff I have in here. There'll be a screw here and a screw here. And there should be some other screws in here for you to take out. And then that will cover that. Some models of BMW, you'll have a strip here that you push and it'll fold down, and it'll be a bunch of fuses. That's where you can have your fuses for that. Now the Z3 doesn't have that there. But yeah, you'd have to pull out the whole glove box, so that way you can access the sensor behind here. And I'll just post a picture to kind of show you what the inner workings look like if you were to go ahead and remove that. Last year, I actually ran into this issue where my car alarm just randomly started going off. There was no reason for it to go off. There was nothing around the car. It just kept triggering, and even using the key fob and deactivating the alarm, it would not shut it off. It just kept incessantly going off. I had to quickly research how to disable the alarm so I could not be disturbing my neighbors. So for me, it was the tilt sensor, and on the Z3 that's located back in the trunk. So let me go ahead and show you where to locate that. All right, so go ahead and open up your trunk and go to the driver's side or the left-hand side. Now this could vary if you have a European spec car. I think the European spec cars still put them on the left, but don't quote me on that. So inside on the left side, you're going to have the lining right here. There's this plastic corner piece right here, and there's a pretty large screw that you can use your hands on to get that out. And then, my lighting isn't very good, but right here there's also a little screw that you can use, you can get out with your hand, that's holding this liner in place. Now right behind here, you're going to have your hydraulic pump that activates the power for your convertible top, as well as your antenna assembly and the tilt sensor. So let me go ahead and I'm going to show you, since I've actually had to unplug mine, I can show you how you do that. So you just take the screw out here until this corner piece comes out, just like that. You don't need any tools to do this job. This is what it looks like with better lighting. Just like a little screw piece right there. Pull that piece out. Now you're going to have like all your different wiring right here for your tail light. Then right up here, the liner has that screw. Pull that by hand, so that way you can pull the liner out, and it just looks like that's a little clip. And then I will allow you to pull your liner back, just like so. And then there's your pump for your hydraulic pump right there for the convertible top. And you can see like how much fluid is still in there. And you won't see my antenna piece in here because I tore mine out. I did a delete because mine got broken, and I'm not spending $200 for one. Bluetooth works fine, so I'll use that option. Now if you go all the way down deep inside, deep down in there, you'll see this device right here. That is your tilt sensor right there, and it just has one electrical piece. Mine's already unplugged because, as you can see, it's all corroded. Right here, it's all corroded. So I would have to replace this electrical as well as replace the sensor down there. What happens is, over time, just from age, it'll start to corrode, as well as if you end up having moisture getting down here. If your trunk seal right here ends up getting bad and water's getting into your trunk, if you notice that you have water, let me lift this up. If you notice down under there there's water, or if there's water down here, that sensor is going to get completely flooded, and it's going to corrode and short out. And that's going to then cause your alarm to just constantly trigger, because it can't decipher whether or not it needs to be, activating or not. So just all you got to do is just grab that one little connector right here, and you can pull that out. And that's all I had to do to get my alarm to stop going off. Now this is just the tilt sensor. So I still have an alarm for the interior is still there, because if you look, see how this red light still blinks? That red light means that the alarm is activated on the car. It's still working. It hasn't been completely turned off or have loss of power. So I will still have a functioning alarm. I just won't have tilt. So So if a tow truck, for example, was to, lift up the car while the alarm was turned on, the alarm isn't going to go off because mine's unplugged. But that's all that is. And that little piece down there is about $250, depending on where you go for an OEM. It's a very expensive module. I would say try to get one that's off of like a parts car so you can save some money, or just not even bother with it. To be honest, some Z3s didn't even have an alarm system at all. It was an added feature. Try to zoom out here. Yeah, so the BMW Z3, the alarm was an added feature. So not all of them even have one. So it's not something that you have to really have. And honestly, for a car like this, I don't really see much purpose for one. You know what I mean? If somebody wants to get into a car this small, they're going to get in. That alarm isn't going to do anything. And I don't believe in car alarms. How many times have you heard a car alarm go off and you just kept walking and doing your own thing and didn't even pay attention? All right, people right now, we're so accustomed to car alarms that we ignore them. So they're not doing anybody a favor other than being an annoyance. I've ran into plenty of younger people that will set up their car alarm on purpose just so they can find their car in a parking lot. So when people do that, it's going to get to that point where we just don't take car alarms seriously. And I feel like most people just ignore car alarms. So just deactivate it. I personally have no use for it. I'm not going to replace that part. However, if you wanted to resell this car to a dealership, CarMax, or like something like that, you would have to replace that, because that would they're going to look at, that's part of your safety, that's part of the safety features, and if that's not functioning, that's going to hurt your value, because they're going to basically charge you as if you didn't have the alarm system. So just keep that in mind. If you're going to resell it, then you might want to, but otherwise, screw it. But there you go. That's all you got to do to take care of the pesky alarm. There's also a thing now, if you have a newer vehicle, I've tried doing this with the Z3 and it doesn't work for me per se, but if you have your key fob, newer model BMWs, you're supposed to be able to just hit your, I can't remember the correct order, so you'll have to research it. It's either lock twice and then unlock to completely turn off the alarm system, and then that red light will stop blinking. Or if it's not that way, then it's unlock twice and then lock, and then it turns it off. But I think it's lock twice, then unlock. Just research that to see if your car does that. And then that red light will stop flashing if you successfully deactivated the alarm. Now, with a faulty module, you can hit the button that shut off the alarm all you want. It's not going to shut off. So it's just easier just to find whichever module is being defective for you and just unplug it. That's all there is to it. So good luck. Hopefully this doesn't happen to you, but if it does, at least now you kind of have some general ideas on where to locate all the different sensor modules that are in your car. Now keep in mind, difference in models might mean you're going to have different things in different locations, but this is just going to give you a generalization, and this will really, really help you out. So there you go. All right, there you have it, friends. I hope this was helpful to you. I know it's a short video, but when it push comes to shove and you're trying to sleep at 4 a.m. and your car all of a sudden just will not stop going off, you're going to want to be able to get in your car in a hurry and try to deactivate it as quickly as you can. So now you have a better idea on how to go about doing that. So best of luck. And yeah, hopefully this doesn't happen to you, but at least now if it does, you're a little bit more prepared. So thank you guys again. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Tell a friend. Check out my Instagram at CoolCatTerry. And I'll check you out again. Come on back real soon. Bye.